Hey guys, welcome back to Brian's Mysteries and Adventures on Trail. And today's video is going to be a little different. It's going to be a combination video of a missing hiker, a hiker that got lost and was subsequently found, but this is a very bizarre case, and also a sort of a cautionary tale, if you will, because this guy who went missing out in Colorado, so he was out in Colorado just this past month, so this occurred on October 18th of 2021. And this is in the central part of Colorado, and we are going to be heading towards Mount Elbert for this case, which is 125 miles southwest of Denver, and it is the highest mountain in the state of Colorado with an elevation of 14,433 feet. And since it's not too far from Denver and it's the tallest mountain, it is a very popular spot for hikers and people to come for a weekend because I guess apparently, according to the people in the hiker's guide, it's said to be a relatively easy climb despite its high elevation. I'm going to put up the trail map of what it would look like if you were standing in the spot, and also it just shows the incline of what you'd be facing if you were going to be hiking this up to the top of this mountain. It just shows the elevation, and there's also several trailheads in and around this area, and lots of places where people come to set up photography things and to take pictures. And there's also lots of warnings that say that snow can possibly obscure the trails once you get above the tree line, and hikers should not count on being able to follow their tracks back down the mountain, which I guess some hikers have gotten lost. Apparently a lot of them have gotten lost thinking that they could follow their footprints back down the mountain. However, wind often will cover footprints if it starts snowing or precipitating again. It's just not a good idea to ever count on that. Now, the gentleman that we are going to be discussing today is unnamed. We don't know his name, and really we shouldn't, because after you hear this, it's probably going to upset a lot of you, and with good reason, but this is a learning experience. And this man became lost for roughly 24 hours while hiking on this Mount Elbert on October 18th of 2021. He was subsequently reported missing around 8 p.m. that evening when he failed to return to the place where he was staying. I guess the people that were with him or knew him in that area reported him to the Lake County Search and Rescue. Again, it's not clear who that was, whether he had been out with friends earlier, but he had left his itinerary with some people, and they subsequently called the Lake County Search and Rescue. So Search and Rescue went out almost immediately, and actually 5 different rescue teams were deployed around 10 p.m. to search all the what they call the high probability areas on Mount Elbert, which apparently are the areas where people are known to get lost. They unfortunately didn't find anything, and they returned at 3 a.m. the following morning after not locating any evidence of this missing hiker, any evidence of any of his gear, anything like that. And the second team set out at 7 a.m. the next day to search more areas of the trail where people apparently tend to lose the trail. And this is where all the SAR teams and authorities were hit with a huge shock. Apparently, the man had returned to his place of lodging at around 9:30 a.m. that morning. And keep in mind, the authorities had been trying to contact this man with repeated attempts through phone calls, texts, voicemails. All of these were ignored. So just keep that in mind. Now, when the authorities got to the hiker, when they went to his lodging and spoke to him, he told them that he had lost his way right around nightfall and, quote, bounced around to different trails trying to locate the proper trailhead before finally reaching his car the next morning after about 24 hours setting out for his hike. So he had been out there for roughly 24 hours, and he finally was able to make it back down to his car. Now, of course, Lake County Search and Rescue said, why didn't you answer any of our phone calls, our texts, our voicemail? He said that, and this man replied to them, well, I had no idea anyone was even looking for me, and I ignored the repeated phone calls because I didn't recognize the number, the agency said, that this man said. Now, honestly, Now look, I know that there's two sides to the story. Like, this guy's out, he doesn't realize people are looking for him, but at the same time, how could you not? You're lost yourself. You've told people your itinerary, so obviously people are going to be worried about you. Why would you ignore phone calls just because you didn't recognize the number? You wouldn't think it was odd that all of a sudden your phone is blowing up, in the middle of the night when you're trying to. I mean, it's just so frustrating. I can't imagine. And of course, as you can imagine, this sparked a lot of outrage in the local community because, these SAR guys and all these authorities, they work so hard. They train so hard. I mean, I'm going to put up some pictures here of the Lake County Search and Rescue Team and just some of their training efforts and what they have to go through. And you have to remember, when we talk about these situations and we often hear that the weather has gone crazy and it's dark and damp and cold, and these SAR guys are all out in that, and it's not like they're just walking down a trail. These people are lost because they have lost the trail, so they're looking over the sides of cliffs. They're going into these very difficult situations trying to find these people, and for them to, and of course at the beginning they're always trying to locate them the easy way, calling the person's cell phone, looking at the trailheads or the campgrounds. So it would just be so frustrating to learn that this guy was intentionally ignoring all these calls just because he didn't recognize the number. Obviously, the Lake County Search and Rescue and all search and rescue men and women want to stress that if you are lost, if you have deviated from your itinerary and something is off, and especially if people know about your itinerary and that you're most likely lost, if you've missed your window, answer your phone. I mean, that's step number one. If you have cell service and your phone is working, answer it. Make a call. Let somebody know where you are, what happened, where you last lost the trail. And I'm going to put up another thing here. If there are helicopters flying over, I'm going to put up a picture of the way to signal the helicopter with very simple arm gestures if you need help or if you don't need help. Because a lot of people make a mistake if they're out in the woods, they wave at helicopters. Even though this might seem like a friendly thing, it can also signal to the helicopter that you might be in distress. So don't do that if you're out in the wilderness. And if you are lost, if you're lost in the woods or a mountain, and you have the ability to hike down the ridge line, always follow the ridge line down. Don't go straight down the mountain, because this can lead you into very dangerous situations. Even though you might see lights off in the distance and it might look like the straight line going down the side of the mountain is the easiest way, this can also often get you into various cliff areas and canyons where it's then impossible to get out. So where it's possible, if you can follow the ridge line down, follow the mountain's ridge line, because not only is it easier for a search and rescue to see you, it's often safer. Now, again, this isn't always possible, but if it is, this is what you want to do. If you are ever out in the wilderness on a hike or whatever, and you do get lost, the main thing you want to do is not panic. And this sounds easy, but that's generally the first thing that happens. Don't want to panic, just kind of keep your cool. And if possible, if you're in a highly trafficked area, stay put, because the odds are that you're better off just staying put. Oftentimes we try and move and we just get ourselves into a deeper hole. And if you are intent on moving, make sure if you're going a direction, if you go down a rock face or a log, or make sure you can get back up it before you go down it, because so many times people will jump down rocks and they think that they're going the right way, but then they get down into the situation where they can't get back up unless they had climbing gear or something like that. Always carry a compass, paper maps, and I'm a big proponent of a Garmin InReach or some kind of GPS device that has an SOS feature, because if you really do get into trouble, you can hit that button and hopefully help will come out and help you. And of course, if you are going to go out, use proper gear. Don't go out in, khaki pants and shoes like this guy. I mean, sadly, I have covered a few cases where this exact thing sealed someone's fate, where they were climbing down the side of a mountain and they just got themselves into a canyon or up against a waterfall, and it was impossible to get back out because they had gone the wrong way and they were just trapped. So if you are able to get into a clearing and you hear helicopters flying over and you have a bright colored piece of clothing like a jacket or a emergency blanket, wave that in a circle above your head, because apparently that's much easier for chopper pilots and the pilots to see than just, waving your arms. If you have something bright colored or reflective, that's the way to go. Research the area that you're planning on hiking and going and camping in, or whatever the adventure might be. Talk to other people that have been there recently. Follow up on the weather. Know what kind of conditions to expect and what kind of terrain you're looking at. No matter what the adventure is, the best thing to do is talk to other people, do your research, and start easy. Start with something small. Don't be pressured into doing something tougher just because your friends or someone else is doing it. In any event, hopefully this guy's story out on Mount Elbert will serve as a cautionary tale and just hopefully prevent this kind of thing from happening again. And just hope everybody has safe and happy hiking out there. Alright everybody, that's the end of today's video. Please be respectful in the comments if you choose to leave them. This video was just meant to be a cautionary tale and help give people some advice if they want to take it. Thank you so much for watching. As always, special thank you to co.ag for providing the background music, and I will see everyone in the next one. Take care. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me to the end. I really want to apologize about the quality of this video. I had already made this video once and then my software just totally, I don't know what happened, but it totally froze. I couldn't get it to do anything. I reloaded the app, everything, and I basically had to do the entire video. Well, I did. I had to do it all over again. I lost all my fonts and basically things that I've spent months downloading and learning how to use. So it's just a pretty devastating thing. It'd be like, doing a major report or project and then losing the whole thing. So anyway, I apologize about this video maybe not being the first one that it was much better, and I will be working on getting everything back up and running, and so I might not have a video tomorrow. So anyway, I appreciate you all watching, and hopefully it wasn't too bad, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.